destroy it, whether in Iran or the U.S.
A new analysis suggests President Trump's strategy toward Iran may go beyond diplomacy, aiming at long-term change inside the country.
His approach uses a mix of economic pressure, diplomacy, and strategic messaging to weaken Iran's regime without immediate military action. Sanctions and oil restrictions are central, designed to strain the economy and potentially spark internal unrest. While publicly framed as pursuing a deal, the broader plan, they believe, may reflect a calculated push for regime change over time. Kim Lorman reported.
Nara Organics has recalled its organic baby formula sold at Target and online due to a multi-state outbreak of infant botulism. Federal authorities report that 3 babies became ill in California, Pennsylvania, and Washington in April and May after consuming the formula. The FDA says to stop using the product immediately. Jalen Brunson and the Knicks did it again, and now they are the champions. For the first time in 53 years, New York rules the NBA. Brunson scored 45 points, including 13 straight for the Knicks, as they beat the San Antonio Spurs 94-90 in Game 5 of the NBA Finals last night. News and analysis at townhall.com. I'm Ron Taylor.
Our founders believed that freedom wasn't just a word, it was a way of life. Larry Elder here. The freedom to move forward, the freedom to pursue what matters most, the freedom to live fully. But pain has a way of taking those freedoms away. That's why Relief Factor exists. I've been taking Relief Factor for a number of years, and I do not miss a day without taking it. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free, research-based supplement designed to help support a healthy inflammatory response, addressing pain at its source, not just covering it up. Over 1 million Americans have tried Relief Factor, and about 2/3 go on to order more. So this year, as we celebrate 250 years of freedom, ask yourself a simple question. Are you living with the freedom you deserve? Relief Factor gives you the opportunity to live pain-free and get back to the life you love. To commemorate our country's birth, we're offering a special patriotic price, just $17.76. So you can celebrate your freedom from pain. There's $17.76 fluid quick start is ready for you. Visit relieffactor.com. That's relieffactor.com. Or call 800-4-RELIEF, 800-4-RELIEF.
An iconic centurion and a former member of the NBC Today Show team for decades passed away. Correspondent Ed Donahue has more on the life of Gene Shalit.
His family says longtime NBC Today Show movie critic Gene Shalit has died. He was 100. Shalit was known for his puffy hair, oversized handlebar mustache, and he loved puns. He started out on the Today Show in 1970 and left in 2010. Longtime producer Guy Ludwig says Gene Shalit amused you. He enlightened and amused whatever subject he was on. Some examples of his puns: Shalit called Frozen very cool, and the men who stare at goats was heard to bleat. His family said Gene Shalit passed away peacefully after 100 years of an amazing life. I'm Ed Donahue.
Breaking news and analysis found at townhall.com. I'm Ron Taylor. The Treasury Department has moved to involve banks more deeply in President Trump's immigration crackdown. We have more from Bob Agnew.
Treasury has issued new guidance allowing banks to share information about suspected customers more freely. It's part of the administration's effort to remove undocumented workers from the banking system. The changes are framed as a crackdown on fraud and crime. In May, the president signed an executive order requiring banks to scrutinize customer citizenship. New guidance expands banks' ability to share information, including flags tied to immigration status. Bob Agnew reporting.
A federal judge has ordered the Trump administration to restore sites changed under an executive order that sought to eliminate inappropriate content at national museums, parks, and landmarks. U.S. District Judge Angel Kelly's ruling Friday also ordered the government to pause any additional changes and to submit status reports. You'll find more on these stories at townhall.com. I'm Ron Taylor.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and do not express the views of WDDF ownership or Hometown Rock Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests.
Please, that's a pain.
Hey, Joey, what's happening? I mean, what's happening in Middleboro Middleboro and surrounding towns. It's time for the Middleboro Week in Review with your host, Joey Driscoll. Stay tuned for news, Middleboro news, here on AM 1530 WBBF. Hey, Joey, what's happening?
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to Middleboro in Review. I am Joey Driscoll. Today is the 14th of June, 2026. And we got a lot to get to today on the program. We have three teams celebrating championships here to talk about on the show today. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. We'll probably do a transportation segment with Dawn as well, as we always try to do, and we like to do with Dawn almost every Sunday. So we'll be doing that, I'm sure. And much more. We'll take your phone calls to 508-822-1106, 508-822-1106. Is it over to call on this beautiful Sunday morning? 7:09 a.m. is the time right now. Beautiful morning this morning. It was a little hot over the last couple of days, but it seems like it's starting to kind of cool off a couple degrees here and getting into a nice stretch of weather where it's going to be pretty nice, I would say. But right now it's pretty beautiful right now. So that is good as well. So here we go. Let's get to our today in history's birthdays and passings and our weather. But let's get to our weather first. Outside of our Hong Kong City studios here on Broadway. I almost said 14 Church Green. That's the old location. On Broadway here, Hong Kong City. Here, and it is 69 degrees. Beautiful day here. Today we are looking at 88 degrees for the high, 58 for the low. Partly cloudy. Really no rain in the forecast. There will be rain tomorrow morning, however. 85% chance of rain tomorrow with a high of 81 and a low of 65. And on Tuesday, clear skies, high of 76 with a low of 58. So the humidity has kind of pretty much after today, it will be kind of at bay for a little bit, which is a good thing because the last couple of days have been hot. And the temperatures are above average for this time of year. In the high 80s right now. So, and feels like temperatures are pretty big as well. So we'll see how this rest of this weekend and the beginning of next week shakes out. But seems like it's going to be a lot cooler as we kind of go along here. Throughout the week. In Middleboro, 68 degrees, high of 87, low of 59, mostly sunny throughout the day today. It will become cloudy tonight, and then again, early tomorrow morning, we start getting some rain. Wind gusts up to 9 miles per hour as well. Rain tomorrow, high of 82 with a low of 65, and on Tuesday, clear skies, high of 76, low of 58 in Middleboro. In Driscoll, Texas, it's currently 79 degrees with a high of 89 and a low of 78. And thunderstorms throughout the morning as well, and also into tomorrow. High of 89 today. Monday, rain, high of 87 with a low of 77. Rain on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. As well, you got temperatures ranging from the high 80s to the high 90s in Driscoll, Texas. In Driscoll, North Dakota, it is June 14th. I'm gonna preface this by saying it's June 14th, and it is 41 degrees in Driscoll, North Dakota. As I tell Don this as he walks in. 41 degrees in Driscoll, North Dakota, Don.
And it's 47th birthday today. Right?
Oh, yes, it is. It's
80th. Yeah.
The president's birthday today. Yes,
80 years old.
80th birthday today, and also it's a pretty good birthday present because it is the UFC White House lawn event tonight too. So I've seen the ring. It's kind of impressive. It's kind of impressive as well.
Towers over the White House.
It's interesting.
Almost.
Yeah. There will be some rain coming into DC, but I don't think that's going to matter too much for the event.
Do you think those people will care?
No, I don't think so.
It's hot. You know. Other than,
I haven't seen the card. I don't know what's on the card. I did see a little bit of the little weigh-in ceremony that they usually do before the events.
Yeah.
That was yesterday. Seemed like it was pretty interesting.
I know other presidents
as well.
had boxing matches
Mhm.
on the ground.
This is the first UFC one.
That's what I'm saying. So everyone's in a tizzy, right? Go back and
Yeah.
go read your history. Go look at all the different presidents who occupied the White House and what kind of events they had. And I know there's been presidents that have boxing matches. They've got
Mhm.
everything under the sun. So if you want to do your research and see what different presidents had in the White House as far as sporting events or just
Yeah.
events in general, it's be fascinating. Then you know. So
And after this event, the ring is not going to stick around.
no,
I've heard this being thrown around there all over the place. It is not going to stick around. Come on.
come on. Anybody who knows President Trump knows that he's just saying that just to get.
Yeah, he's just saying it to get-
to
To get reactions.
You know,
It's not sticking around. First of all, it's not going to fly. Number one, if it does stick around.
right, and I think the whole events, the taxpayers not paying a dime.
No.
So it's all the UFC.
Yeah.
Which they're gonna do all right, and
I think it's going to be an interesting event. I think people will watch it. just
well,
to
we got a
kinda
lot.
tune in.
It's funny. We got a lot going on because I had to go do a few oil deliveries. Some oil deliveries. I'm always interested in Boston.
Yeah.
I had to go do 3. And who was playing yesterday? Was Dominican? Who was playing yesterday?
So it was Scotland and Haiti. Yes, I have seen videos all over the place online. Scotland has invaded Boston.
Yeah.
Absolutely invaded Boston. World Cup is always interesting. With people coming.
People watching, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Scotland was definitely in full force.
Well, I think I saw a lot of Haitian flags.
Yes, it was Haiti and Scotland last night at
So-
Gillette.
I'm driving through Mattapan, Rosendale, High
I'm
Park.
gonna call it Gillette. I'm sorry, any soccer fans who might be watching. I'm calling it Gillette. I'm not calling it Boston Stadium. Sorry, not happening.
Well, they don't know Foxborough. All they know is Boston. It's funny too because you got like like London, I think, or some cities out there. Okay, if Boston was where it was as far as Boston proper,
Mm-hmm.
Foxborough would be part of London. Now, some of these cities are just so huge,
Yes.
and a lot of these cities in Europe and other countries, their cities are huge. I mean, Boston's big, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Boston proper technically would be in Foxborough. It'd reach out to the 495 belt.
Yes.
This helps some of the, Los Angeles, another perfect example. But I've seen a lot of little cars running around with the flags hanging out. Everyone had their gear on.
Yeah.
There was like eight vehicles I saw in Matt. They were having fun. And then I was in Quincy
Scotland won last night.
and I saw a bunch of young kids. They're all decked up in their Brazilian gear.
Brazil had a match. They tied with I don't know who they faced yesterday.
For the U.S. did good though. I heard, right?
Oh yes, they beat Paraguay. Yeah, 4-1.
Even if you're not into football or soccer, what do you want to call it? I just like the idea that a lot of people just love it so much that you kind of have to have respect for it because of that. Because it's just
course.
And then, like I said, it was like I was driving around, and no lie, but had been 20, 25 vehicles with the Haitian flag.
Mhm.
So that was cool. I mean, they got their flags out. They're sitting there, they're in a parking lot, hanging out, enjoying themselves, and they're just psyched. Really, the game was going on, or I don't know. I don't know the schedule myself, but
Oh yeah, so
it's like people
yeah,
watching.
they had
It's
one
nice.
game at Gillette. They had one game at Gillette yesterday.
I had a friend of mine go to Jamaica Plain yesterday. There's not Irish, the Scottish pub, just to see the Scottish invasion. You know what I mean? Just to
A
go
lot
to
of
this
people
go
were
to
here.
this one pub and experience a game. So I mean, it's if you're looking for that culture, if you're looking for that, this is the time to blend in and kind of mingle in with the crowd because it's not going to be here for a while. Just it's not more the game; it's just the participants. It's all the people. It's just it's the whole thing behind it. So you know what I mean?
Absolutely. So there's a lot of games today. We already had a game take place in the Sunday slot. Australia and Turkey got underway at midnight last night.
Oh yeah.
It was in California, so it was midnight our time, 9 o'clock. Actually, not California. It was in Vancouver. It was 9 o'clock their time. And Australia did win yesterday, so congratulations to Australia. You got Sweden and Tunisia tonight, Ivory Coast and Ecuador tonight, Netherlands, Japan this afternoon, and then the early game at 1 p.m. this afternoon is going to be Germany taking on Curacao. I believe this is Curaçao's first World Cup, so good luck to Curacao as well, because Germany is really good.
Didn't Mexico started out the other night?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
It was a good match. It was a good match. However, it seemed like they were a little rusty. A little bit rusty. That wasn't the best opening match, that the World Cup could have had because they were kind of rusty. Obviously they won, but it was kind of close, and it probably shouldn't have been close because South Africa kind of gave Mexico a lot of chances, and they only was able to score 2 goals. So I mean, it wasn't the best opener, but it was still fun. It was still fun. The crowd was definitely into it for sure. Let's go to the phone line to say good morning, caller.
Good morning, Joe Driscoll. How are you?
Good morning, Jim.
Should I say gentleman because your father's there?
Good morning, Jimmy. How you doing?
You don't sound too enthusiastic, Don. I mean, come on now, it's Flag Day.
He's talking about soccer.
This is a major holiday. This is some, wave the flag. This is what it's all about.
I saw a lot of flags. I saw a lot of flags yesterday. Believe me.
Yeah, Scotland and Haiti.
I saw about maybe 25 Haitian flags in Dorchester on Mattapan yesterday.
That's really good. And let me just remark a couple of things. I did have something to report on Middleboro, but
Oh, you too.
here in Massachusetts,
I do as well.
we've got 351 cities and towns. We've got Connecticut and Rhode Island to our south, and New Hampshire and Maine to our north. But don't forget, we started out here with one town, about 25 miles east of here. And then that was in 1620. And then 4 years later, John Winthrop and the Blue Bloods, the Sears and the Saltonstalls and, the Cabots showed up and stopped in down in Plymouth, and they saw Brewster and Carver. How you fellows doing? Good. See, you had a successful voyage across the ocean, which back in those days was a chancy thing, boy. So Winthrop and his ship, they said, well, we're going to head up the coast here. We saw this bay from we were coming in. We're going to go check it out. And they set anchor in what became Boston Harbor, rowed ashore, and John Winthrop and the elders walked up to what would become known as Breeds Hill or Bunker Hill. And John Winthrop is said to have stood there with his fellow elders and said the following words: "We're going to be rich." And then he said, "I claim this land for howsoever far as it may go." Meaning they didn't even know how big the claim. "I claim this land in the name of our King, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and the Massachusetts Bay Company," of which John Winthrop was the sole representative in the New World. And so now you have two towns. You've got Boston and Plymouth. And some people set up another town on the other side of the river, which was originally called Newtown, with two E's, changed to Cambridge. And the way it worked under that system, because Winthrop and his people owned everything, there were land grants. And the fourth town was Dedham. And Dedham covered what is basically all of Bristol County and a good part of Plymouth County to the east of Bristol County, sort of the Wareham, Marion, Mattapoisett area. But then it also extended westward in a straight line to about where the Connecticut River comes out. And that was all one town. And then slowly over the years, Rainham, 1731, Taunton, a couple of years before that. But you would form a town. This is one of the differences between a commonwealth and a state. In a state, you've got unincorporated land. You have a city or a town, and then there'll be like a couple miles before you get to the next one. It's unincorporated. But in a commonwealth system, well, one town gives up some of its land to, you had to have 10 families if you wanted to have a town. And the towns would break away from each other basically because it got to be too far to walk to church. And so in the way the Mass Bay Colony worked, one of the towns you would have 10 families, and the land they own is what defines the boundaries of that town. That's why when you see the boundaries of a town, you say, wow, who the heck laid this out? Well, that was the land of the 10 families for the most part. And that's why there's a little section of Rainham on the other side of the Taunton River, down there in East Taunton, because the fellow who was one of the 10 families owned that land, and he wasn't going to give it up to those no good in Taunton. He ain't paying them taxes. That was the other thing. If you got a new town, you didn't have to pay taxes to the owner anymore. You had to sell your land and have people pay taxes to you.
Don, go ahead.
Yeah, but Plymouth Rock's boring, isn't it?
Plymouth Rock is definitely boring.
It ain't exciting, Don. I'll give you that. And you know that they've had to change the memorial over the years a couple of times in Plymouth because there were so many people going up to what was so-called Plymouth Rock and chipping away pieces of it.
Yeah.
And that's why you have that memorial now that's set down off the road with an iron fence around it because you don't want you touching it anymore. People literally taking hammers and chisels and taking pieces of it home with them for many years. I want to talk to you about something that happened in Middleboro yesterday.
Yes, go ahead.
Yesterday in Middleboro, there was a large gathering on the lawn in the town common in front of town hall there. It was Middleboro Gay Pride Day, and it was organized by an individual named Alex Cook, who was a candidate for school committee in the town elections in Middleboro this year. He did not win, but Alex Cook happens to be my godchild.
Nice.
That's awesome.
And Alex's father and I met at Bridgewater State College in the 70s, Kevin Cook, and he was married at the time and had a couple of kids and had to leave college because of having a family. He needed to work. And he was a veteran and very involved in naval use. He remained in the Navy, Naval Reserve for many years. He's right now the Veteran Service Officer of Milton and Braintree. Kevin's child, Alex, is a transgender individual who began life as Amy Lou Cook, and my wife and I were her godparents, and she was christened aboard the USS Constitution. Kevin Cook's an interesting character because he was in the Navy Reserve, the National Guard. You know how you got to do your 2 weeks active duty every year. For a number of years, his active duty was on the USS Constitution when they did when they sailed it down for, they put it, I guess, in dry dock up north. I don't know, is it Salem, Tanya? I don't know if you know. It was up Salem, one of those towns up on the North Shore that they house it for the winter, and I guess it's secured in the dry dock area. And then they sail back into Boston with great circumstance every year.
Was that Beverly?
Guys up on the rigging.
Jim, was that Beverly? They do that because
I'm not.
there's Ticonderoga, New York, and Beverly, Massachusetts, claim that they're the birthplace of the U.S. Navy. Okay, so I mean, I was wondering if it was Beverly. Yeah,
Maybe it is. I'm not sure.
I just wanted to say a couple of things about Middleboro Pride Day, because this is an event that I guess had been happening for a number of years, and I guess COVID it ended a lot of things like this. And Alex decided to try to reinvigorate it, sort of restart it. And he asked me if I would help because he knows I've got a PA and sound equipment, and they needed to have music and announcements and that sort of thing. So I haven't had my PA out of the basement since before COVID, but I cranked it up, went down there, set it up around 9:30 and stayed for the day. And I have to tell you, I was absolutely astounded at the turnout and attendance. And because I thought this might be a small event, with the 2 or 3 tables and that sort of thing, but there were probably 20 or more people with pop-up tents. And a lot of them were basically people who sell merchandise that's related to the gay rights movement, but a lot of them were just craftspeople and artisans, homemade things. But I was absolutely stunned at the turnout. There were hundreds of people, and it was just such a nice affair. And Middleborough Police had an officer on a bike, kind of roaming around, make sure everything was okay, and it was just one of those wonderful events. Everybody was in a good mood, and it started officially at 11 o'clock and went till 5, but around 4 o'clock the thing had sort of petered out, and they decided to call it quits. But it was just a wonderful event, and Alex Cook, was very disappointed in his showing at the town election. He came in he finished last. And I said, well, it's your first time running for office and all of that. But I was just stunned that there was such strong presence and support, and it was young, old, black, white, kids, with their parents and gay couples, just everybody having a wonderful time. I think Alex should be very proud and satisfied with his accomplishment. I was happy to be.
well, the backdrop of that town hall grounds is unbelievable because
It's the perfect location.
it's just first of all when they have the concerts on the green a lot. I'm not sure where you set up, Jimmy, but if you set up like underneath where the pillars are for the town hall, the acoustics is unbelievable. It's like, oh my God,
I played those concerts.
Right. So you know how good the acoustics is right where that front door is. I mean,
And with that vast roll, slightly sloping, as I say, gently sloping, grassy knoll, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what you call it.
Lawn, but because it's got this wide open sense. But Don, the vendors in the crowd completely filled that area.
Well,
hundreds of people.
And then you have the memorial. Then you have the Veteran Memorial Park, and you walk around, and there's conflicts from the Revolutionary War to everything. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, everything. Every War of 1812, Civil War, Korean conflict, Gulf War,
Yeah.
Somalia's, and everything we've done since 1775 is on that placard. And then you got all the bricks,
Yeah.
so it's really nice, you know.
So I think the determination to get an event like this, done every year and organized every year, I think will not go unnoticed by the people and by the voters. So I feel like, yeah, for the first time, it wasn't successful when it comes to the election.
Well, take a business owner, right?
But
Yeah.
but when you go forward and run again,
Yeah.
I think more people will see it, and I think more and more people will come into that camp, to vote, because they've seen the events that this person put on, and will probably be very, very impressed with it. So we will see.
I just want to say this about that, though. Some people equate, and there's become a certain amount of hostility to certain public groups and political groups, and it's because there are people who just are intolerant of anything that doesn't comport with how they think the way the world should be. But there's a certain amount of pushback to the gay rights movement, which, and as a lifelong Republican, I said, well, we're supposed to be the party of individual rights, and, sticking up for people just because you're different doesn't mean that you're a bad person. I mean, I went through it in the 60s as a hippie, as they called us back in the day, I think Alex understands that when you first run for office, particularly as a non-traditional candidate, there can be a lot of negativity, but you really need to. I'm one of those people. I don't think you legislate things like this. I think you got to win over people's hearts and minds. You got to show them positive and that you're just a person just like they are, and you're just trying to live your life. And it wasn't, and the whole crowd. It wasn't a shoving it down your throat about gay rights. That was entirely absent. There was a bunch of people that if you didn't say anything about it, it looked like when they got different things from the town hall there, Don. And there was just so many people there having a nice day. Of course, it was hot. By 3 o'clock, Don, I was dying. I had a tent set up right next to that little portico outside of town, the front doors there.
Yeah.
And sort of the PA system. And good thing I had a tent, because that stuff you expose it to too much direct sunlight, it overheats and shuts down on.
How many people? How many people were there, Jimmy? If you were to guess.
I'm going to say there was never. I'd say at any one moment there were probably 400 to 500 people there most of the afternoon, and at one point in time, I couldn't even see the aisles between the vendors or the cars over on the side. To the left-hand side as you're looking. So I would estimate there were probably at one point in time, probably close to 1,000 people there.
That's what I'm saying. You bring something in like that, and all the businesses win. All the businesses win. You bring 400,000 people, guarantee 500 are going to the shops, they're going to get coffee, they're shopping, they're milling up and down, looking around, and investing in Middleboro, into the tax base, into the community. So I mean, win
all across the board.
Win a chicken dinner. You know what I'm saying? It's all good.
It's a win across the board. Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
I think that absolutely would be the case. On that the vendors. Alex wasn't sure when if there was going to be anybody show up, and he had worked pretty hard on it. And as soon as I got there around 9 o'clock, he started telling me, "Well, this one canceled, that one canceled," and but they had a food truck, they had an ice cream truck, and they had some pretty good sponsors. Adam Bond's Law Office, one little plug for Adam, and I said to Alex, I said, you'll know it when it's time to shut down because the vendors will start leaving if there's nobody here. And it got to be, 4:45, and the permit was only until 5. And I said to him, I said, I think you got to make an announcement that thank everybody for coming and all of that stuff. And, please pick up after yourselves, your vendors, thank you all for coming. And I said, you won't have to tell them to leave if there's nobody here. And so around, 10 minutes before you started seeing the tents being, the pop-up tents being folded up. And I told Alex, I said, I'll stay till 5 with the music, but I think you might need to really be out of here by 5 or the town might charge you an overage fee. This happened to me at one concert I played in another town, Joe, that they said, well, we got until whatever time to get out of here. And so we packed up and, had a few last minute things. We were out of there probably within an hour of when the event was scheduled to end. And then the guy got a bill from the town for another hour for the grounds people and the use of the facilities.
Well,
You gotta be careful when you read those permits.
well, I guess it's, if you do have something going on, you have to keep that detail officer there until the crowd disperses. So, that's probably looking at that. But hey, Jimmy, have you been down Route 44 at all? Eastbound.
Oh, yeah.
You noticed a brand new traffic light?
The end down in Taunton looks like.
No. I'm talking about Middleboro. Brand new traffic light. I want to announce today that our traffic light on 105 and 44 was hit 2 years ago, and it was one of those construction traffic lights. And there was always this left-hand arrow they put on the light to the left when you go to take a left onto Plymouth Street, heading 105 east. Okay? Well, we have a brand new, shiny light. It's an overhead light. It's nice.
That's cool, Don.
No, I'm just saying. No, the thing is, when you're in that left-hand lane, everyone's looking to that left light.
Mm-hmm.
No, the light's up top now. It's a big bar with 3 lights.
And that's great.
And they opened that up, and we got a nice shiny. What do you think of that, Jimmy? We got a nice new light. Some clown knocked it over 2 years.
Yesterday when I go over there, I was pulling the trail with PA on it. I went, I came down 495 from where I live in Green. I'm up here 495, 138, and I got off at 44. I didn't want to be going down the highway, and I came up to the turn at the traffic light for the Dairy Queen across diagonally across, and 105 crosses Route 44 there. And they turned left, and it was, it was 9 o'clock in the morning. And I got to say this, I could tell there was something different about it, but I think I want to see it at night, John, because that's when you get the traffic count there. Is all of the growth in Middleboro and Lakeville over there off of 105. Traffic counts is just enormous increases. And the traffic eastbound, or westbound in the morning, eastbound in the afternoon on Route 44 from the Rotary back through Middleboro into Carver and Plymouth. Incredible numbers. I don't know what they are, but they're nothing like I have ever seen before.
Would you agree that the Rotary worked, Middleboro Rotary, since they did the strap, the painting and divided it, made it to lanes? Because I remember waiting in that Rotary.
Well, you got to understand that the Rotary was a convenience, a contrivance, as they say, that predates the automobile. And because when they would have these intersecting roads, they weren't designed for cars. As the areas increasing population, just horses and wagons, like in the 1800s, they said, well, we need a system for this because there were getting to be conflicts. So the Rotary was born here in New England, and they were largely successful, but they weren't designed for cars. And I get what you're saying. Since they did the redesign of it, so there's actually a lane for you to enter. And then there were 2 concentric lanes in it. One of them will, if you get into it, you can then exit off. If you come in from 44 and you need to exit off onto 18 South, and you want to continue on, you can get into that outer lane. But you get into the inner lane if you're going all the way around the thing, say to get on the Route 18 North and back into Bridgewater. So I think that it's a success.
Well, in my opinion, the Middleboro one worked, but you go to the Bourne Rotary, they tried to do the same. What the problem is they had more solid, meaning you shouldn't have any solid unless it's a given that you should be, that it's going to work. But they have a solid line. So if you go over the Bourne Bridge, head into the Cape, and you want to go around all the way, and you want to go up the road that goes on the canal side, on the Cape Cod side towards Sagamore, there's like a solid lane, and a lot of people just try to do it to the letter, and you can't. And that's the problem there. That whole intersection is an absolute mess since they put that in. That didn't work. The striping didn't work because they got too much salt. You know what I'm talking about? Solid white. Because solid white, technically, you're not supposed to cross.
I think the thing I would criticize about the redesign of the Bourne Rotary, and I drive that thing every Monday night.
I think it's terrible.
But they've got that traffic light if you come in from the old Route 25 and you come into this thing and you want to exit off so that you don't go over the Bourne Bridge. You want to go down to Sagamore. As soon as you come around the other side, there's a traffic light for that road into the, I think, the state park under the bridge. And I think that builds a backup there, and it's very hard because there's also a traffic light at where you come in from going from Buzzards Bay into the Rotary.
Are you talking the mainland side or the Cape Cod side? The 6 side or
this side? This side.
Yeah, no.
The one you're talking about is when you go over the bridge and then there's the Rotary there.
Yeah, the state police barracks, right. That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. It's just 8th graders could have done a better job painting it, I think, in my opinion. It's just they didn't think that one out. And in my opinion, too, I think at some certain times, roads should be blocked off, period. I mean, to try to go all the way around and mess up traffic that way. And what happens when they go over the highway towards, over the Cape, onto the mainland Cape, and they want to go all the way around. Well, people headed out, it's just a big gridlock because they come around like they want to take that canal road on the Cape side. And the problem is it's solid white line, and everyone thinks they got to get over. It's not striped. It's not, it's not dashed. It's called dashed. Dashed lines.
Well, I hear what you're saying, and I'm going to be doing that Rotary tonight around 7:00, and but I know what you mean, and if I had to, Don, yeah, I think that the advice I'd give you is why don't you take the tunnel?
I didn't get my tunnel privileges yet. Do you? I think the tunnel's been around since the 40s. The secret tunnel.
I take the tunnel if I'm in a hurry, but I had to pay extra for my sticker. I don't know about you.
You know what's funny too? I've read a lot of articles about the tunnel, but it's a big secret where it is. Now, where is the the mainland portal and the Cape Cod portal? Where is it? Come on, tell us, Jimmy. Where?
I had to sign a disclaimer to get my sticker that I would never reveal.
You remember Batman, the little bat cave thing he came out of? It's like a portal. It's sort of like that, right?
We got a couple minutes here before 8:00. I want to get Jim's thoughts on a couple of things. First off, we're going to do a music segment. And why I say this is I talked about this, I think it was Monday. I have yet to get Don's thoughts on this, and I have yet to get anyone else's thoughts on this. Rush and their return, the 50-something tour. 4 tour dates are done. The Los Angeles tour dates are done. And by all accounts, smashing success. All 4 of them. Especially the 4th night. Apparently, last night, they played a song that they haven't played since 1979. Don, can you take a guess of what that song was?
Well, they started out with Xanadu on the first one.
Yeah.
If I were going to bet, it would be either Tom Sawyer or Limelight?
No, so this song here, they haven't played this song
Tell us what
since
album.
1979.
What album's on?
And it is the title track from A Farewell to Kings. They have
Oh.
not played A Farewell to Kings since 1979.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I was told that they did the whole first side of. No, they did all moving pictures
Mm-hmm.
on the last one, and then they did. I think on the third night or the second night, they did all of 2112, which if we all know 2112. 2112 is a 20-minute song.
Mhm.
I think they're shaping it up, and
They're doing everything. They've done material from the newest album, Clockwork Angels. They've done material from Roll the Bones. They've done material from Snakes and Ladders. They've done material
Snakes and Arrows.
Snakes and Arrows. I apologize, Rush fans. They've done material from everything, and they've brought some special guests along. Amy Mann was one of the special guests.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Your thoughts, Don, and your thoughts, Jim.
Yeah, I would tell you my thoughts.
I just want to say that I don't think any Rush concert is complete without them doing Takeoff and Great White North Bob and Duck.
Oh, he might drag out Bob and Steve McKenzie for that. You know what I mean? You know what's funny too? Alex Lyson and Geddy Lee, they're just regular guys. They have a great sense of humor. I haven't seen Eddie on it, but I know Alex. There's a show. It's called Trailer Park Boys. I'm not sure if anyone has seen it. It is so dumb. It is dumb. It just dumbs you down, but it's so funny. And Alex Lyson was in it a couple of times. That guy Ricky kidnapped him or whatever, and took him back to the trailer park, and it's just like it's just good because it's just like you watch it and it's just like it is so funny. It's up in Canada, and it's so I don't know. It's just, but it's good that someone like Alex Lyson can go into that. And there's a character named Bubbles, okay, which this guy's, if you ever watch this guy's out of his mind, right? They got him playing Close to the Heart with Rush, with Bubbles on acoustic, and then, which guy can play, right? And then, you know what I'm saying?
Well, all I remember though about that famous intro to the Takeoff and Great White North that Geddy Lee did on Doug McKenzie is that Doug was saying he didn't believe Geddy Lee was from Canada because he wasn't wearing a toque.
Oh, I'll tell you one thing about Geddy Lee. His name's Gary, and his family was his parents were Holocaust survivors, which a lot of people don't
I
know.
did not know that. Oh yeah, somebody. I heard something. Somebody thought he never really revealed it. It was one of those things that was kind of outed on us, I recall.
Grace Under Pressure, the song Red Sector A. Very, very good song.
Yeah.
Probably one of my favorite Rush songs of all time.
That album, that Grace Under Pressure, is more of like, which was released in 1984, is more of like a doomsday album.
Oh, it's a dark album. Oh,
Yeah.
That was a dark album. That wasn't a anthem rock. Yeah, hey, yeah, rah rah. Let's have a hit record album. That was a dark one. And I wondered what was going on in his life at the time.
I don't know. That happened right after singles. But no, switching gears on another band that has two songs out. Deep Purple, another album with a new guitarist, Simon McBride.
It's so good.
I tell you, I'm gonna crank up Motorhead right today, baby.
You know what? Equals One is the new album they put out in 20. Crank that up.
That is
It
great.
reminds me of Machine Head, like unbelievable. It's just the talent and it just seems like they're just having fun. And they're and I heard they were recording down in Nashville now. They've been recording. Deep Purple's been recording down in Nashville for the last 10 years or 5, 6.
And what a great spot.
Because I watched an interview and he's like, we can't handle the London scene. They're out of their minds there. It's just, I don't know. We're out of here. We're gonna go record in the South.
And I was wanted to say one thing, and we got another phone call here. We'll incorporate this other call here in just a second. But we recorded in Nashville, and that has allowed them to have some guest stars. They have a guest star coming on this upcoming album they got going on. The second single came out. It's called Diablo. The second guitar solo on that song is done by Keith Urban, and what a guitar solo it is. Let's say good morning, caller. You're on Middleboro in Review.
Yeah, good morning, fellas. It's Johnny Ray.
Good morning, Johnny.
Hey, Johnny, what's happening?
So, Amy Mann from the group Two Tuesday actually sang background on Time Stand Still originally on the record when she was on tour, and they were on tour, and they just happened to collab, and they liked her voice so much, they had her record that vocal, the background vocal on Time Stand Still. So when you mentioned her name, it kind of rung a bell. I'm going, this is just a great collaboration.
Yeah, and all four of those tour dates, from all accounts that I've heard, were just smashing successes. They will be in Boston for a couple of tour dates. They'll be in Unckersville for a couple of tour dates as well. So that's going to be exciting as well. Rush being back.
When Neil died, and they decided that they were going to continue on by looking for a new drummer, there could have been a plethora of names out there and when they settled on Annika Nielitz, I'm thinking, man, this is the biggest percussion coup on the planet.
Yeah.
I've been a big fan of hers for a number of years and watching her videos on YouTube. So when she was named the new drummer, I'm going to go, my God, this could be a sold-out tour in epic proportions.
Well, that album, Hold Your Fire, has a lot of special meanings. There's a song called Open Secrets, which I know Neil did a lot of writing, and his writing style touched that song. I felt made me better. It was like, if I was young and confused before that song, and then I figured out the lyrics and what it meant to me, it shaped me and made a better person. It's just, if you ever listen to the lyrics of that song, and if you had baggage as a child or some whatever, I don't want to get involved here on the radio, but something about Neil's lyrics were magical. What do you think, Jimmy? You still on? Jimmy still on?
You still there, Jim?
I'm here.
What do you think about Neil's lyrics? Has any of them really touched you as far as, because other than the first album?
I gotta say, that I'm not as familiar with the catalog as you are, John, but I can tell you that happens to be one that I do know. And I've been doing some performing of late where I sort of do the unplugged version of a lot of these really heavy tunes, and that might be a very good one to do acoustic solo guitar with, because it is. It's one of those songs. It can be difficult for you depending on where you're at in some things, but you could tell that song is as much of a statement as a poetry, as a cleansing, as a catharsis as it is. It's an excellent performance song. Really, with those guys. Hey, Don and Joey, are you familiar with a song called Force 10?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's off Hold Your Fire.
It's the best song on that.
That starts out the album.
Yeah.
That was like, I think, is that the first song when you bought it in cassette back in 1987? Wasn't that the first song that came on? That's like, here's your new album, Force 10. Isn't that the first album, you think? No, Time Stand Still was.
That was an album, I think, on a red album cover.
Yep, it did. It did.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Anyway, just want to chime in. Continued success with you guys. I'll talk to you later in the week.
Thank you.
All right, take care, Johnny. Thanks for calling.
Take care, bud.
Yep.
As I see the clock on the clubhouse wall, Mickey's big hand is coming up around the 12, and the little one's getting towards 8 o'clock. So listen, gentlemen, always a pleasure.
Do you have a Mickey Mouse clock?
My godchild Alex spoke on a successful thing yesterday.
Jim, before we let you go, what do you think about real quick? What do you think about the Knicks?
I think that the Knicks are they became the Boston Red Sox of basketball. Boy, they were fun to watch, but they were a tough team back in the day. And then there was Boston had rivalries with particularly New York and Philadelphia back in the 60s and 70s. This new Knicks team, I have never picked them to make the finals, let alone go all the way. And I'm they are a very determined group.
They won
because so many people underestimated them and dismissed them.
In San Antonio, they won.
In San Antonio,
Well,
they
thank
won.
God they didn't win in New York. New York would be on fire.
It was pretty crazy last night in New York. All right. Well, thank you, Jim, for calling in today.
Thank you, Jim.
All the pleasure, fellas. Back to work.
Yeah. All right. Bye-bye. That was Jim. Everyone has to call.
And
By
Johnny,
the way,
and Johnny too.
and Johnny as well, giving us a call. And by the way, Holiday, Florida. By the way, I didn't talk about the weather there. Holiday, Florida, by the way, is 81 degrees, mostly cloudy, high of 89, cloudy throughout the day today, and rain throughout the week, unfortunately. Really no clear day until next Monday for Holiday, Florida, unfortunately. You got a chance of rain every day this week. All right, our today in history, because we got to get through those real quick before we end on the show today. 1775, the American Revolutionary War, the Continental Army is established by the Continental Congress, marking the birth of the armed forces. 1777, the Second Continental Congress passes the Flag Act of 1777, adopting the Stars and Stripes as the flag of the United States. And apparently today is Flag Day as well. So, yeah. Awesome stuff there. Hawaii becomes a United States territory on this day in 1900. 1949, Albert II, a Rhesus monkey, rides a V-2 rocket to the altitude of 134 km or 83 miles, thereby becoming the first mammal and first monkey in space. 1959, Disneyland's monorail system opens. That has its first daily operating monorail system in Anaheim, California, that opens to the public on this day. 1982, the Falklands War. Argentine forces in the capital of Stanley surrender to British forces, so the Falklands War ends on this day in 1982. 1994, the Vancouver Stanley Cup riot occurs after the New York Rangers defeat the Vancouver Canucks, causing $1.1 million of damage, 200 arrests, and some injuries. 17 years later, the Canucks played the Boston Bruins in the Stanley Cup Finals. They lost again in Game 7 on June 15th, 2011. That's 15 years ago tomorrow. We'll talk about that more tomorrow. Resulting in a similar riot. Birthdays. Harriet Beecher Stowe, Henry Gardner, Alois Alzheimer, W.W.E. Ross, Jack Adams, Gene Barry, Steny Hoyer, Rod Argent, Donald Trump, Pat Summitt. Passings on this day, 1801, Benedict Arnold, Pierre Charles L. L'Enfant, who, if you go to D.C., there's a station named after L'Enfant.
Well, yeah, Metro Station.
Metro Station named after L'Enfant.
Yep.
1914, Adlai Stevenson I. 1994, Henry Mancini. And 1995, Rory Gallagher passed away on this day in 1995. All right, it is 8:01 a.m. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I will be back next Sunday for another edition of Middleboro Review. Bye-bye. Had to speed run that.
You did a good job.
Thank you.
Now you got to. Did you tape this one?
I did.
Oh, you're the man. What a good show to tape. So you play that 2 weeks, right?
2 weeks.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Michael Harris. Momentum for a deal to end the Iran war is growing. Pakistan says an agreement is closer than ever, and President Trump asserts that it might be signed as early as today. Iran is making some of its most optimistic statements yet. Its foreign ministry said yesterday the likelihood of finalizing a memorandum of understanding in the coming days is high.
Really mad.
The Treasury Department has moved to involve banks more deeply in President Trump's immigration crackdown. Correspondent Bob Agnew reports.
Treasury has issued new guidance allowing banks to share information about suspected customers more freely. It's part of the administration's effort to remove undocumented workers from the banking system. The changes are framed as a crackdown on fraud and crime. In May, the president signed an executive order requiring banks to scrutinize customer citizenship. The new guidance expands banks' ability to share information, including flags tied to immigration status. Bob Agnew reporting.
Conservative analysts are pointing to rising tensions in the United Kingdom and across the West as part of a broader cultural conflict. Correspondent Ken Lorman has that.
The analysts point out that public anger is growing over immigration policies and what they describe as elite resistance to change. According to this view, concerns about crime and social cohesion are often dismissed, fueling frustration that has in some cases erupted into unrest. Critics say unless those concerns are addressed, similar clashes could continue to escalate. Ken Lorman reporting.
Nara Organics is recalling its organic baby formula sold at Target stores and online due to a multi-state outbreak of infant botulism. Federal authorities say 3 babies have become ill in California, Pennsylvania, and Washington in April and May after consuming the formula. Infant botulism is rare but a serious illness. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Our founders believed that freedom wasn't just a word,
Bye,
it was
everybody.
a way of life. Larry Elder here. The freedom to move forward, the freedom to pursue what